Good day, folks, and welcome back to Ed's Garage at Merton Hyundai. Today we are looking at the 2022 Santa Cruz in the Trend package. So this is, in Canada, the middle trim level. So one below the Ultimate and one above the Preferred. I'd like to take you through all of the features on this vehicle. But before I do, I'm going to ask you guys as my audience, I hope that you've enjoyed the videos so far. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. But I'm going to ask you a bit of a favor. Recently, my wife lost her job and she started her own YouTube channel. Check it out in the link below. Basically, she's going to be doing videos on renovations, cleaning, little projects, basically stuff around the house. So if there's anyone in your family or friends that's interested in that sort of thing, please have them check out the video and just hit subscribe. We're just trying to get her up to the 1,000 subscribers so that she could start monetizing as well. But it would mean a whole lot to me if you guys as my audience would help us out that way as well. In any event, check out this beautiful 22 Santa Cruz. So we're going to start at the front. Now, of course, the front has the beautiful daytime running lights that kind of merge into the grille. Those look really cool at night. You do have halogen headlights on this one. They are a projection light though, so still really good light throw. You'll also notice we've got the forward-facing radar system on here, as well as the camera in the top of the windshield there. And I'll explain what those things do in a little bit. Coming around the side, same sort of cool sort of rims here. You've got that nice kind of texture there with the little hidden Easter egg Santa Cruz and the beautiful aluminum alloy rims. These are an 18-inch wheel on the Trend. You've got the marker lights on the mirrors, as well as the proximity entry. Next, we're going to check out the business end. All right, so at the back of the vehicle, so check out these cool taillights. I actually really like these. They almost look like arrows pointing out, which is kind of funny because that's not actually the turn signal. Let me show you what that looks like. So as you can see, the turn signal is inside those arrows, but whatever, it still looks good. The arrow actually is, it's right in the light as well, so it kind of goes all the way to the outside. It's a good look, and of course you got Santa Cruz stamped into the tailgate as well. Now this one is the H-Track all-wheel drive 2.5 liter turbo. All Santa Cruzes in Canada are the 2.5 liter turbo, mated to an 8-speed wet dual clutch transmission. Really nice setup, and these things are a hoot to drive. So if you haven't already checked it out, check out my review on the Preferred trim, because that actually included a drive. So I'm not going to bother driving this one, just doing the feature review for today. So, all right, so you'll notice on the bumper we do have steps to get up here, there, and on the right-hand side as well. And if we pop the tailgate here, you notice it's dampened, so it actually opens up very smoothly. Now the tonneau cover, which is also standard in Canada, and it's free with all Santa Cruzes, all trim levels. You can see it opens up to a halfway position, and then if I wanted to, I can actually open it up all the way. And it comes with this handy little belt to retrieve it, so you don't have to reach all the way in there. Inside the back, you do have an underfloor trunk, which is kind of cool. So there it is there, and you'll notice when you open it up, the LED lights on the sides actually turn on, which is super handy. And it's got little plugs that you can pull out, so you fill this all up with ice, and then you can drain it out afterwards. On this side here, just a storage compartment. However, on that side, you've got a 120 volt outlet. And then the other thing to note here is the movable cleats. So you just pull that little thing out in the middle, and you can slide those all the way down as well. Now that entire tonneau cover does come out if you need extra space, but just so you're aware, it's 4 foot 4 inches to the edge here, and then this is about 2 feet, so it's about 6 feet 2 inches from the wall all the way to the end of the tailgate. Now what's really cool about this tailgate is if you want to carry a 4x8 sheet of plywood, you can, because on the top of the wheel wells, that's actually 4 foot 2 inches across, and you can take these retainers here and you can put them up into this position, which of course raises the tailgate up a little bit to the same height right here as those wheel wells there. So you can actually put a piece of plywood all the way across and it only sticks out a couple of feet. It's pretty smart thinking on Hyundai's part there. Nice light tailgate, so you can very easily lift it up. I can actually do it with one finger, as I showed in my previous video. Yeah, pretty cool. Let's check out the back seat. Before I climb into the back seat, I want to show you a couple cool things. One is this seat actually does lift up. Now I've already unlocked this one, so I can do it from this side easily. But you can see we can fold it up. This is one thing I forgot to show in my last video, but there we go. Now the seats are up and out of the way, and you got some extra storage here, and of course that's where the jack is. And then to put it down, you just unlock it and it folds back down. A couple of USB ports back here, and the nice thing is they are lit up, so even when it gets dark you'll be able to see those ports very easily. Both of the seats are a solid back, and they both have seat back pockets. The cup holders are in the doors here because there's really no place to put them in the middle of the seat. All right, so let's hop in and see what kind of space we have. Now the back of the front seat is quite back far right now, so legroom in this, it is a bit tight. Surprisingly, actually has more than like a second-gen Toyota Tacoma, for instance, which is interesting because that's a much bigger vehicle. But the seat is actually very, very comfortable as well, and the armrests here are very soft as well. The seat back isn't terribly straight up. It's still a pretty comfortable place to be. And I've got tons of headroom as well, as you can see. And my feet can actually slide underneath the front seats quite easily as well. As for the space in front of my knees, as I mentioned, it is a bit tight right now, but that's only because this seat back is pretty far back. I should have actually adjusted that ahead of time, but I didn't. Okay, so let's check out the front seat. All right, this is the front seat, of course. Now, if you watched my previous video, you'd know that the front seat of the preferred trim driver's seat was not power. This one is, so you do have the power adjustable driver's seat. Now, it has tilt as well as height adjustment, backrest, and lower back support. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-way adjustable power driver's seat. That is also a beautiful perforated leather. The seats honestly are gorgeous. They've got this cool little accent feature up here as well. But yeah, beautiful leatherette interior. Getting into the vehicle, you can see we've got the same sort of screen as the preferred trim. However, it's an automatic dual zone climate control system, which I'll get back to in just a moment. I wanted to show you on the door itself. You've got pockets for bottles here and a Bose audio system. All right, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to start from the left side and work my way all the way across to the right. So on the left here, you got your dimmer switch for your interior lighting. This one here actually turns on the box lights. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Then to the right of that, you have the traction and stability control button. On the steering wheel, it is a tilt and telescopic steering wheel. You got your headlight switch here. Now it is automatic headlights, but it's also auto headlights off if you leave the headlights on. So what I try to recommend to all of my clients is that they simply leave it in the on position as you saw there. That way they've got tail lights on in the back any time of the day, not just at night. So it's a safer way to drive. I highly recommend that that's what you do. All right, having a look at the steering wheel, you can see we've got the paddle shifters on the back here, so gear up and gear down. On the steering wheel itself, you have the voice recognition button. Now with this vehicle, the voice recognition only works when you have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay enabled. The mode switch here, which goes between AM, FM, and Sirius XM satellite radio. Got your volume, obviously, answer call, and then a customizable button that we usually just set up to reject call. This just goes through your presets and previous and next track. On the right hand side, you see we've got adaptive cruise control. So that's another nice thing about the Santa Cruz is you get adaptive cruise control and lane follow assist. The button up here sets your speed, this adjusts the speed, and this just changes the distance that you're following the vehicle in front of you. These two buttons all control the beautiful 10-inch instrument cluster. Check that out. I'm going to go over that a little bit later, but for now, we're going to move on to down here in the console. So you got your center console storage, of course, lots of room, quite a deep storage console. You got your heated seats, 3 levels each, and your heated steering wheel. Further up, we have an automatic parking brake. So this will set itself on a hill, and it'll disable itself once you start to drive forwards if you have it in drive. It's got the auto button, the auto hold button, which actually holds the position of the vehicle instead of creeping forward when you let your foot off the brake. You have the hill descent assist, which I think I tested out on my preferred video, and actually that works out really, really well. Up to 40 kilometers an hour when you let go of the brake, it just maintains your descent speed. You've got the camera button here, so you can actually turn on the rear view camera at any time, even if you're not in reverse, so that's what that's for. And then also you have your terrain mode and drive mode buttons. So when we hit the drive mode button, not only can you see we can change between normal, sport, and smart, and it does a really cool graphic with the screen there, but if I switch it by hitting the drivetrain button, I can go to snow, mud, and sand. So to cover those options real quick, so the normal is just normal. It's the same as any other, vehicle. It just drives normal, nothing special. Sport mode basically gives you a little bit extra low-end kick, and it also tightens up the steering wheel, as well as, of course, changing the display, as I mentioned before. Smart mode is going to give you a better fuel economy. It's going to automatically adjust between a sort of an eco and a dynamic drive mode. Doesn't do anything with the steering wheel, but that's what that one does. The different terrain modes, the snow, mud, and sand, essentially what they do is they alter the traction control's aggressiveness, as well as lock a center differential and apply different levels of power to the rear wheels based on what setting you're in. So it varies a lot of different things in order to make it a little bit better in the snow and the mud and the sand. There's over 50 different sensors that the all-wheel drive, the H-Track all-wheel drive system monitors in order to get you through those types of situations. It's really, really good system designed and engineered in Canada by a company called Magna International. Awesome system. All right, let's have a look at some of the other functions here. So a little bit further forwards, we have a nice storage location here with a wireless charging pad for your phone. And you see the Qi logo there. 2 different USB ports. One will charge tablets and phones. The other one will charge phones, but also provide Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wired. But this vehicle does have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto on the big, beautiful 8-inch touchscreen, which I'll get back to in a second. First off, I want to talk about this dual zone climate control. So nice little luxury feature here. You got the auto button, which allows you to change the aggressiveness of the automatic function. So not only does it turn on auto climate control, but if you find that it's just a little too aggressive, you can turn it down. It's all touchscreen interface with the exception of the 2 buttons that really you should only be touching. The rest of them, once you have it on auto, you don't need those buttons. You can actually leave it on auto and just adjust the temperature. That's the best way to control these. Let the car do its thing. It's really good at it. But here's something really cool. Check this out. You've got the recirculate button right here, and it looks like a Santa Cruz. How cool is that? So here's the really cool thing about that though. When you pull on the windshield washer fluid stock, it automatically puts it into recirculate for you. That's one of the settings in the climate control options. Activate upon fluid use, recirculate air. So in that way, basically, it's going to stop you from having to smell that windshield washer fluid. Sometimes it gets it can be a really chemically smell, and that basically eliminates that problem. It's pretty cool. Also on here, you've got the diffuse option. So what that is, when we have diffuse on, instead of air coming out of the vents, it actually comes out of these tiny little holes all along the dash here and on this side as well. And basically that creates sort of this diffused airflow, so you don't have the air blowing directly on you. It's actually quite nice. That's a very nice luxury feature that you don't find in many vehicles. Hyundai kind of brought it down to the mainstream, so that's pretty cool. All right, moving up to the screens. So an 8-inch screen, non-polarized, which means you can actually see it when you're wearing polarized sunglasses. A lot of car companies don't do that. They give you a polarized screen to reduce glare, but then when you're wearing polarized sunglasses, you can't really see it. What Hyundai's done here is they've made the screen a matte finish, so it's very, very bright. So actually seeing it, even with a little bit of glare, is quite easy. And it's got high contrast icons as well. So I mean, you're not looking at blue icons on a green background, for instance. You're looking at white icons, a nice black background, and it's pretty easy to see. Now, as I mentioned before, it does include wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which is kind of nice because, of course, with that wireless charging pad, you simply get in, drop your phone on the wireless charging pad, and then Android Auto or Apple CarPlay pops up on the screen. It pops up even before you do that, but everything's wireless, which is kind of nice. You've got some touch-sensitive buttons here on the left and right, but you have an analog controller for volume, as well as your tuning knob here. And this is also a power button. So if you press this, it'll turn the radio on and off. And if you hold it down, it'll actually turn the whole screen off, which is kind of nice. All right, also in here, if we go into setup, you can see we've got some vehicle settings as well as your Blue Link options. So I'll get to that in a second. But if I go into general, you can see we've got the keyboard options, language options, date and time, system info, and just here's where you can also do an update to the system as well. Free updates for life now. Blue Link is free for 3 years. And BlueLink gives you remote start from your cell phone, remotely access the vehicle's features such as the lock, so you can unlock the doors, lock the doors. You can even set different information on the climate control or different settings on the climate control right from BlueLink when you remote start the vehicle. You can even find the vehicle on a Google map. That is free for 3 years, guys. Pretty cool. We can also go into the climate settings here and change things like the automatic dehumidify and the auto defrost, as well as the automatic windshield washer activation. In the radio, I'm going to quickly just turn that on and turn it down. So one thing I really love about the radio is that you have all of your presets on the left-hand side here, and it's a simple matter of just hitting this little star to add a preset. You can see we've got obviously AM, FM, and Sirius XM. Sirius XM is free for 3 months, sorry. And it's pretty easy to navigate, right? I mean, you got your presets there, your tuning knob there. It honestly doesn't really get any easier than that. You can quickly go and change your presets right here. You can go delete presets. You can choose specific ones or mark all of them and get rid of them all, just like that. It's all very, very easy to use and pretty quick as well. Quick to respond. All right, so moving up to the headliner, notice that the headliner is black, which is always nice. You've got the SOS button here to call for emergency assistance and the roadside button here for emergency roadside assistance. You also have 2 sun visors, of course. They do both slide out. They've both got mirrors and they both have lights. And then, of course, this one, being the Trend model, is equipped with a sunroof. Now, that sunroof can both tilt and slide open. And then the last thing to look at really is the instrument cluster. So let's have a quick look at the instrument cluster, see what we can do here. So the buttons on the steering wheel, this one and this one, you can actually go through different settings on the instrument cluster. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what they are. So you've got your lane keep assist information screen, your attention level, which tells you if it thinks you're getting tired or not. And it does that by monitoring the input to the steering wheel and monitoring how long you've actually been driving for. Next one over, we have the drive info. So that's like your trip computer, trip B, trip A, as well as a digital speedometer, which you can quickly hold the OK button down and switch to miles per hour. So you see everything's in miles per hour now. All right, switch that back over and we can go to the user settings where we have, well, for instance, the driving assistance. You can change the forward warning. You can actually make it active assist, so autonomous emergency braking, or just a warning. Not sure why you'd ever want to do that, but you can. Assist lane safety, so that's where the vehicle will automatically steer itself down the road. Blind spot monitoring warning system, so this is pretty cool. So not only does it have safe exit warning, so it'll warn you if it feels that there's a dangerous situation after you've parallel parked, but the active assist means that in your blind spot, if there's a vehicle there and you ignore the warnings, it'll actually actively assist by pulling you back into your lane by using the opposite side brakes if you start to drift over. In the parking safety here, you got rear cross traffic alert, of course, when you're backing up with this beautiful backup camera, which, by the way, I haven't actually showed you. So very, very high resolution screen. You got dynamic steering lines and also the ability to look straight down over the bumper, which is great if you're wanting to line up a trailer. So really, really nice system there. And of course, it moves that line when you move the steering wheel as well. So super handy backup camera. But not only that, it also has rear cross traffic alert, which is what we're looking at on the screen here, which will detect pedestrians and cars passing behind the vehicle and warn you that they're there. All right, so that's pretty much it in there. Now, if we hit the top button again on the steering wheel, it bumps us over to the last screen, which is the all-wheel drive info screen. So I think I showed this on the preferred trim, but it actually will tell you which wheels are getting power under acceleration, or when you're getting stuck in the snow or whatever. It'll actually show you where power is coming from and going to. And it also shows you which ways your wheels are currently pointed, which is kind of cool. And then if I hit the down button here, I get the tire pressure monitor as well. All right, guys, I think that pretty much covers it. That's all the features in the Trend Santa Cruz. If you haven't already checked out my preferred trim video, please do, because I do take the vehicle for a test drive as well. And it's a little bit more in-depth on the vehicle, but this, I just really wanted to go over all of the features because there are several features that the preferred simply just doesn't have, like that 10-inch instrument cluster screen, or the power driver's seat, or even the sunroof. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe to support my channel and see future videos like this. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I really try to answer every question that I see. If I can't answer it, I apologize in advance. Also, guys, one last thing. My wife recently made a channel that she's put up online. Please take the time to check it out and subscribe if you like it. You know, show your significant other if they're into things like renovations and small projects, woodworking projects, painting projects, that sort of thing. They might enjoy her channel as well. As she recently lost her job, it would be super helpful to build up that subscriber list and eventually, hopefully, monetize. All right, thanks again, guys, and have a wonderful day.